is a sports catastrophe special presentation. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Coder Diamond welcoming you to a very special sports catastrophe, and of course, it's the wrap party for season 4 of the Poker Players Kitchener Waterloo Club. 16 players went for 12 spots in the live final. The second time there was a live final because the last two were COVID riddled. So basically, on May the 6th, it was a great day at Kitchener's Malt and Barley Bar and Pub, or whatever you want to call it, where we had live tables. In fact, there was actually a cash game that people were playing that after they were eliminated, they went somewhere else to play a cash game. So anyway, we're going to talk about the 12 competitors and all that. Now, of course, a footnote is that, unfortunately for me, I had been double booked. Not only did I have the poker tournament that day, I had the ball hockey tournament. Fortunately, though, I was able to see the last table, the last 8 people. Unfortunately, the bad news was that not only was I unable to see the final table, like find out who got eliminated but anyway. So, regardless of that, I don't know the winning hands and I don't know a lot of things. So, nobody wrote it down, stupidly. So, I have to play it by ear. So, anyway, I will tell you the competitors from 12 to 1 and talk about their seasons and how good they were. So, hang on tight. Alright, so first on the docket was Krista, KMFS, as she calls herself. She was the first one eliminated. Now, Krista actually did not get in the tournament, like, heavily and all that. Krista's efforts, well, Krista was in Group D, and she actually had a no-show, and her final match of only getting 5 points was, those 2 scores were dropped, but she did put up 42 points, despite the fact she didn't have 1 KO. Now, normally she would be in 15th place, but the problem was that because of a work stoppage, Craftworks could not compete, so he picked Krista to represent the final table, and the vote was unanimous. So Krista played, and Krista unfortunately failed. But in the cash game, she did decently. I mean, I did take her for some cash, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Krista, it would have been a Cinderella story coming in for Craftworks and winning the title, but unfortunately she finished last. In 11th place was Summer, who actually pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in history with her final table round. And of course, you know, as I always say, I thought she was a guy, and then she said something in the Facebook group, and I'm like, uh-oh, I said she was a boy. Whoopsies. But Summer actually did well. I mean, a couple of crappy finishes in games 4 and 5 were not good. I mean, she did take a 4th place, which was her best performance. But she buried everyone in the final game. She not only won for 24 points to go advance, she KO'd everybody. She got the 8 knockouts. Now, you know, there's 8 players who are thinking, 8 knockouts? How? Because PokerStars awards the first place person a knockout. So, with Summer's 8 knockouts, she got to 11 knockouts. She had 3 beforehand, and then got 8. She scored 63 points. Summer was actually up to 9th place at that time, but Summer had a few bad hands. I guess live poker is a lot worse than, you know, virtual poker. But Summer's great finish will always resonate in everyone's heart. Alright, so who finished 10th? This guy finished 10th. I had some very creepy matches, but, you know, I did what I could. And after a few terrible finishes in the first 4 weeks, I knew that going to the final 2 games, I had to be almost perfect to sneak in. And after a surprising 3rd place finish in my table in Group C, I felt good. But then an unexpected 4th place happened. Well, 4th place, I looked good. And I somehow snuck in 11th place. Well, yeah, I was snuck in 11th place, so I had the second lowest chip count. and all that. But the simple fact was that, you know, I only had 2 knockouts. I don't knock out people. People knock out each other, and I basically just fly in. So I had 58 points overall. Unfortunately, you know, the poker tournament took second fiddle to my ball hockey thing, and my quarterfinal was at 1 o'clock. If my quarterfinal ball hockey thing was at 12:30 and I lost, I would have been back half an hour earlier and then snuck in and probably played a few live hands. But what can you do? Ugh. In ninth place was the guy who lives by a nickname, and that was No Show Sales. Although he did have one no show in the regular season, he showed up and won the first game of week 1. So he won week 1 and took a couple of decent finishes to finish at 58 points. It didn't help that No Show Sales was in the group of death, because Group C had Rhythms, No Show, myself, and Chubby, and all 4 of us qualified. We were the only group to have all 4 qualify. And all that. So every group had one guy be taken out. And all that. So yeah, Group C was the group of death. But unfortunately, he no-showed the live tournament final. I mean, I've made it somehow. Although I was eliminated 5 minutes before I got there. But he didn't even show up to the thing period. So unfortunately, he finished 9th. Pisses me off that a guy who literally wasn't there for any action ended up doing better than me. Ugh. And then finishing in 8th place was I Hate Humans, aka Ryan. Ryan had actually snuck in to the tournament with 56 points, 2 points ahead of the cut line. And unfortunately, that was at the expense of my brother, who, even though he won the tournament and knocked out a few people, he actually did not make it. Ryan survived. Ryan had a decent run. First few games, he was top 4. At least top 4. But he no-showed week 3, and then week 4 and 5, he actually took 2 third places and didn't score enough points to do well. But his 2 knockouts helped him out get 56 points and survive. Ryan, unfortunately, did not have a good start. He may hate humans, but he's got to hate the other players who were ahead of him. And then the guy who took 7th was my pick to win, because this guy created this and he seems like a good guy. It's Rhythms, aka Dan Tardif, aka Tits. So anyway, I thought he was looking good. He had 3 top 2 finishes. He won week 2, he took second in week 3 and 6. Guess who he lost to in week 6? Yes, that's right. He lost to Edjo. I was hoping Rhythms would take down Edwards and get revenge for Edward taking me out in week 6. But anyway, Tits had 7 KOs for 87 points. He actually started out in 3rd place. Surprisingly, he had the 3rd best start. He was 3rd place, so it looked like he was going to be top 3, but somehow in some way he faltered and took 7th. I don't know how and I don't know why, but man, he pissed me off when he lost. Finishing in 6th place was Dwayne, aka Newfoundland. Dwayne did quite well. He was actually started out in 8th place and jumped up 2 spots. Pretty good. Dwayne had that win in week 5 and a 2nd place in week 1, which helped out. He was middling throughout. He got through 7 KOs, which was pretty good, and got, oh crap, I don't want to say the number. I can't say the number. It's wrong. You get my point. But anyway, Dwayne did pretty well, taking 6th place. You know, representing the island of Newfoundland quite well. And in 5th place was Jimmer, who actually started off in 6th place. So he jumped up 1 spot. Jimmer in Group D actually did quite well, winning both weeks 2 and 3. That was basically what carried him into the tournament. And, you know, 9 knockouts helped him get 75 points and a decent spot. And it looked pretty good for him. He looked like one of Mike and Amy's friends, Al, but no, his name was Jimmer. So Jim did his job, and he took 6th, took 5th, no big deal. You know, I probably wouldn't have done anything like that. Anyway, in 4th place was the newcomer in season 4, Chubby Tardif, who never played in the first 3 seasons. And he ended up in 5th place at the regular season. He was, of course, in the group of death with me, Rhythm's sales. So anyway, he put on a clinic. A pair of runner-up finishes in week 4 and 5, and a third place in week 6. Looked good. He actually only dropped 12 points. So he actually was top 4 every week that he played. He didn't play week 3 for some strange reason, but yeah, he was top 4 and all that. I mean, he had 7 knockouts for 79 points, so that was pretty impressive. So anyway, yeah, the newcomer did well, and he might be a big threat for season 5 if he comes back for season 5, which I think he will. In third place, is Kappa, aka Master of Keys, who actually took 2nd place and was bitching on the Facebook group in the messenger, saying that he did not have the chip lead to the. He was a fan favorite. Fan favorite, my ass. You have one title. Anyway, first 4 weeks he was unstoppable. Runner-up, 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 winner. So he looked pretty good. But 2 terrible games in games 5 and 6 ruined him. He did get 10 knockouts, but that wasn't the most knockouts in the regular season. But 84 points. He was 2nd, and it looked like Kappa was going to win his 2nd title. But unfortunately, he didn't. So, boo-hoo, boo-fuckity-hoo. And then in 2nd place was the guy who was picked to win because he was the leader at the regular season with 96 points, and that was McBitter. So McBitter was pretty good. I mean, this guy was amazing. McBitter actually was the only guy to be top 4 in every one of the 6 matches. Now remember, the 2 lowest scores get dropped. So he had a 3rd and a 4th place dropped. I mean, after all, the guy won 2 weeks and took 2nd the other 2 weeks. So it was hard to see why he wouldn't be the favorite. He did have 8 KOs, not the most, and narrowly won the regular season championship. But sometimes the regular season championship doesn't mean you win the title, and he did not. So you may be asking yourself, if McBitter didn't win, who the fuck did? I'll tell you. It was Brian. I know, I could have gone longer with my range and all that. But yeah, Brybird, the guy who actually had the most knockouts in the regular season were 12. This guy also did quite well and dropped 2 5th place finishes. So he ended up being top 5 every time. Well, out of 8. Still there. But he won week 3. He won week 5. He took 4th twice. He had 84 points. He was actually 4th on the regular season list behind McBitter, Master Keys, and Rhythms. So it looked like Brybird was up against it. But he took from 4th position to 1st position. He won the tournament. We now have 4 different champions. Brybird did it. And he'll take his money home and probably give it to his sick dog, Milo. He loves that dog so much. And, Milo should be happy that his master won the title. But, dogs will be dogs. But anyway, Brian made the who let the dogs out. He did. Woof, rah, 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 rah. Who let those dogs out? Rah, 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 rah. Anyway, so Brybird won. So season 4 is in the books. Season 5 will start in the fall. Who will win? Who will lose? And who will piss me off? We'll find out soon enough. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.